Hello and welcome to this episode of Hospitality Talks. And I am thrilled to have Kim Handy, who is head of people at Nightcap, with me to talk all things people and nightlife, I guess. Kim, for anyone out there that doesn't know you, doesn't know Nightcap, do you want to just give us a brief lowdown?
Yeah, great. So Nightcap, we are a typically a late night bar operator. We have got 44 venues across the country, predominantly in London. And we have got 14 brands under our belt. So some of the typical brands that you probably recognise are Dirty Martini, the Cocktail Club, and Tonight Josephine. So although we are predominantly in late night bars, we've also got the I360 in Brighton, which is more of an attraction venue. So that's been quite a new adventure for us this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I always forget that you've got that. Yeah, I remember when I saw that that was becoming part of your sort of portfolio, I thought, oh, that's an interesting one. Um, I mean, that particular venue aside, what is going on at the moment in specifically in late night? Now, the press are all over the fact that late night is suffering, that it's having a really hard time. What are you seeing specifically from that part of the sector?
It is tough, not just for us actually, for the whole sector. Trying to gain market share in a declining market is ever so tough. What we're seeing amongst our competitor set is a lot of discounting, and that's not a route that we have traditionally kind of looked at. We would rather make sure that people come to our venues and get value for money, be that what's going into their glass, being it the entertainment or the guest experience they're receiving.
Mhm. And it's interesting because whenever people talk about value for money, the word price always crops up straight into people's heads. But actually, value for money isn't about price. It's about, did I get value for the money that I spent on that experience today? So it's interesting that you're not going down that sort of discounting and offers route. What specific issues then, if we've seen what the challenges are for the industry as a whole and for late night specifically, what specific challenges do you have within Nightcap and within people, which of course is your remit within Nightcap?
Yeah, so I guess it's twofold really. One, retention. So typically our workforce is quite young. We get a lot of university students wanting part-time roles to support study, as well as kind of people trying to start their career in hospitality. What they don't necessarily connect with that is the potential to carve a career in hospitality. And that's been the biggest challenge and the biggest ongoing challenge we've got around retention. So we're not expecting people to join us and stop for 10 years. But you know what? If they could join us and stay for 2 years and have a great experience, then
Yeah.
that's good enough for us.
And those people, I mean, t talk to me a little bit about how you onboard and train those people, knowing that they might not be staying with you for long term.
So we onboard them. So if we talk about bartenders, which is our kind of bread and butter,
Yeah.
so we onboard them. They go through, and we use Mappa, we use Flow in terms of our online onboarding, and then supported by in-venue trainers. So they would kind of have a touch point on day one, week one, and ongoing, as well as area trainers. So what we actually kind of implement from that initial first shift is what we call Night Path, which is our bartender training.
Right.
So what that does is give you a training plan for the first 12 weeks, like during your probation period, to set you up to qualify as a certified bartender within those 12 weeks. And now, if you have then got a bit of a taste for bartending and you wanted to expand into a junior or a senior, then we have also got the kind of platform and the development there to basically turn you into a career bartender if that's what you want to do.
I always think that we speak about this till we're blue in the face in hospitality, and the wonderful Conservative government during the pandemic called what we do unskilled, which still makes my blood boil. So I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna to dwell on that, but actually. If you give the proper training to a bartender, those skills are. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it. I genuinely don't think I would be able to be a bartender. I just don't think I've got the flair and the knowledge and the talent to do it. But they're also very transferable, those skills, right? So in hospitality, we really underestimate how much we are training the future workforce as a whole, not just in hospitality.
Absolutely. I mean, if I use my team as an example, so we have just created a role as a HR advisor. Now that's being fulfilled by a individual who started off as a bartender, went through all the bar training, became a senior bartender, actually got an appetite for there's more I can do, there's more I can give, applied for a role in the area training team, become an area trainer, and she has just got the skills, the personality, the trust in the teams that she looks after, where you see something in that individual that someone saw in you one day. So the
Yeah,
fact that then she's joining the central HR team, she has just started, just passed actually her first assessment on CIPD through the apprenticeship levy, is like literally making my heart sing because
yeah.
like that is the classic case study and it's real life and it's someone they know and they
Yeah.
trust and they believe now that that could be them one day.
That's literally stories like that is what makes it all worth it, right? You know, the good parts that come out of HR, recruitment, being head of people, those good parts way outweigh the better, the trickier parts, shall we say.
Absolutely.
Now, Kim, we just recently conducted some research for you, um, which I don't want to sort of talk too much about it, but just want to get a bit of a view from you. What was that research and why did you decide to do it and why now, I guess?
So we had gone through a kind of a period of change where essentially we had smashed four businesses together under Nightcap. Although we thought we knew what our challenges were from an employee based point of view, and we thought we knew what they wanted, actually categorically you can't become complacent and think you know better.
No, no,
So I'll be really transparent. You know, we looked at a lot of partners. Can were the only ones that wanted to work with us rather than sell us a product,
right.
and that was really important to us because we're not traditional in the corporate sense. You know, we haven't got it all worked out. We haven't got a kind of team of people writing policies or process for us. Like a lot of the time, we work with our teams to develop some of that. So it was really important to us that we had a partner that would support us from that point of view and engagement. So don't get me wrong, some of what we thought were issues came out, they were issues, but there was a lot of positives that we hadn't maybe recognized ourselves by just spending time in the bars with the teams, which was like, you know, genuinely they enjoy working like in our venues because they are fun places to be. And that's not to say we are perfect, like far from it. But actually, the stuff around training, development, career pathways that we thought were probably like some of our core issues that we need to face into, what we got from the research was a real clear understanding of actually what do we need to do to plug that gap. Where are people interested in terms of like progression outside of bartending? What does that look like then with picking an apprenticeship provider and how they could partner with us on the back of this research? So it's been really enlightening actually, and the fact that we haven't done it before,
Mm.
and then you know the feedback we got, the honesty we got from our teams was overwhelming.
Well, that's something. I mean, obviously, I would say this. I am MD of a research agency, I think it is important to get an external viewpoint as well, because then I think you do get that honesty. It's also interesting what you said at the beginning, Kim, about actually people research. I think often if it's not been done before, a company will look at it and they will think that, oh, it's going to pick out all the flaws. Of course, it's going to pick out some of the things that need improvement, but actually, it'll also pick out the things you're really good at and that you can then capitalize on, or that you can focus on, or that you can increase resource to, whatever it might be. It's not just about finding out what you're doing wrong, it's also about finding out what you're doing right. What was the biggest takeaway for you, or one of the biggest surprises for you?
Oh God, that's a really good question. I think it was the fact that people weren't necessarily looking to leave; they
Yeah,
were looking for a reason to stay.
that's brilliant. Yeah, yeah. That
And that was the biggest thing because we naturally assumed, oh, if you got offered 50p more an hour down the road, then you go.
yeah.
Actually, it wasn't that. It was give me reasons to stay, give me my next challenge, give me my next role, give me my next qualification, give me that.
Mhm.
I'm more than happy to stay doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, and it's funny as well. The CAM insight that we've recently conducted, like in employee satisfaction sort of survey that we worked on. One of the areas that is just increasing constantly year on year. This is a part of the UK's, I think it's the UK's biggest hospitality salary survey. Don't know. We've got to think of a better name for it. But anyway, it's something like that. And what's been interesting is over the last 3 years, watching um, the ability to progress going up in importance within hospitality, and just that idea of it doesn't matter how or where I progress, whether it's within the same company, whether it's sideways, whether it's up, whether it's going out into a different company, but just that idea that I'm not going to just be stagnate in one particular role with one particular skill set and never have the opportunity to sort of better myself and to learn more things and like you say, to give more. I think
Mm.
that it's really interesting that that's sort of becoming more and more important to, especially to a younger generation as well, because they don't have a very good boredom threshold,
No.
younger generation. So you've got to kind of keep them interested and keep them moving and keep them progressing. Okay, final question. What's next for Nightcap?
Wow.
And if you can't say, then don't. In which
No,
case, tell me
no.
what's next for the people in Nightcap.
Yeah, so no, for Nightcap, I mean, look, we're always open to an opportunity. That's what's exciting about it, actually, is like, who knew this time last year that we were going to buy a tower in Brighton, and yet here we are. I think, in terms of from a people aspect, it's building upon the kind of career pathways. I hate that word, but I can't think of a better one right now that we've started to set out. Communication is a massive piece of our people strategy for next year, because we try and bang the drum, and we thought we got it right engaging with a kind of employee app, but it's been inconsistent. So it's again more kind of research in terms of what do people want to hear about, when do they want to hear it, and how. I know like a lot of hospitality companies are trying to step away from WhatsApp, but again, what came out of the research was, do you know what, for pace, for ease, WhatsApp is like a great tool. So it's kind of marrying up what is that sweet spot in terms of rhythm, what we're communicating, and how. So that's a massive part of my focus in the kind of next quarter for sure.
Excellent. Well, once you find out the answers to that question, would you mind letting me know? Because I think my my team and the team WhatsApp group, I mean, I think they just ignore me now, but because I try not to do it out of hours, but then something pops into my head and I have an idea about something, and so yeah, I think it's something we could all do with learning is how do we really hit that sweet spot on communication. Kim, thank you so much. It's been wonderful to talk to you, and it's been great working with you, and I look forward to seeing you soon at the next people event. I think there's a couple coming up. So I'll see you then. Thank you for your time.